She adjusted the focus carefully, noting down her observations in a worn notebook. Her long brown hair was tied back in a messy ponytail, and her green eyes reflected the starlight as she worked. The night was quiet, except for the occasional car passing by on the street below. A flash of light caught her attention. Something bright streaked across the sky, not a meteor too controlled in its descent. Mia tracked it with her telescope, heart pounding as she realized it was heading for the forest area just beyond the city limits. Without thinking twice, she grabbed her jacket, car keys, and a flashlight. This could be the discovery of a lifetime. She had to see what it was before anyone else got there. Her small blue car sputtered to life as she headed toward the coordinates she had roughly calculated. The forest was dark and silent when she arrived. Mia parked on a dirt road and continued on foot, following the faint glow she could see between the trees. Her flashlight beam bobbed as she walked carefully over fallen branches and uneven ground. What she found in the small clearing made her stop in her tracks. It was not a meteor or satellite debris, but something that could only be described as a spacecraft, small, sleek, and undeniably not of human design. It had created a small crater but appeared largely intact. Mia approached slowly, her scientific mind racing with questions and possibilities. A section of the craft slid open soundlessly. Mia froze, her flashlight trained on the opening. She considered running, but curiosity kept her rooted to the spot. A figure emerged, tall, slender, and definitely not human. The alien stood at least 6 feet tall, with pale lavender skin that seemed to shimmer slightly in the moonlight. Large, almond-shaped eyes of deep violet looked at Mia with intelligence and what seemed like curiosity. The being was clearly female, with delicate features and long silver-white hair that fell past her shoulders. She wore what appeared to be a form-fitting suit made of material Mia had never seen before. Mia swallowed hard, finding her voice at last. "Hello." The alien tilted her head, studying Mia for a moment before responding in perfect English. "Hello, human. I am Lyra, from the star system you call Andromeda. My ship encountered difficulty while observing your planet." Mia blinked in surprise, both at the fact that the alien spoke English, and at the calm way she introduced herself as if this were a normal meeting between colleagues. "My name is Mia. I am an astronomer. I study stars and space." Lyra nodded. "This explains your presence here. Most humans would not notice or investigate my landing." "Your ship is damaged?" Mia asked, gesturing toward the small craft. "Yes," Lyra confirmed. "Our observation vessels are designed for stealth, not emergency landings. I require materials to repair my communication system and return to my main vessel." Mia knew she should probably contact authorities, but something held her back. The government would lock this being away, study her like a lab specimen, and Lyra didn't seem threatening, just stranded. "Can I help?" she offered, surprised at her own words. Lyra seemed equally surprised by the offer. "Your assistance would be valuable. The materials I need may be found in your human technology. I can provide a list." Before they could continue, headlights appeared on the distant road. Mia turned, alarmed. Someone else was coming, possibly drawn by the same light she had seen. "We need to hide your ship. It has cloaking abilities, but they are currently offline," Lyra explained. "I must not be discovered by your authorities." Mia made a quick decision. "Come with me to my apartment. The ship will be hard to spot in this clearing if no one knows exactly where to look. We can come back tomorrow night." Lyra hesitated, then nodded. "Your logic is sound. Getting an alien into her car and then into her apartment building without being noticed was a challenge, but somehow they managed it." Lyra seemed to understand the need for secrecy, pulling a hood from her suit over her distinctive hair and keeping her head down. Once safely inside her apartment, Mia locked the door and turned to look at her extraordinary guest, who was now examining her bookshelf with great interest. "Your written language is inefficient, but your scientific texts are surprisingly advanced," Lyra commented, running a long finger along the spines of Mia's astronomy books. Mia smiled at the backhanded compliment. "Thanks, I think. Why were you observing Earth? My people have been monitoring your planet for centuries," Lyra explained, sitting gracefully on Mia's couch. "We observe developing civilizations. We do not interfere unless necessary. Yet here you are," Mia pointed out, An unfortunate accident. Lyra agreed. My ship malfunctioned during routine observation. I must repair it and return before my absence is noted. And if you don't, Lyra looked troubled, a search party would be sent. This would complicate matters. Your governments are not ready for official contact. Mia sat across from Lyra, trying to process everything. The alien didn't seem dangerous, just pragmatic and slightly stranded. I want to help you, but I need to understand what materials you need. Lyra produced a small device from a compartment in her suit. It projected a holographic display of what appeared to be circuit designs and material specifications. Mia leaned forward, fascinated. I need components similar to these. Lyra explained. Some may be found in your communication devices, computers, or other electronics. Mia studied the specifications. Most of this I can probably find at electronics stores, or salvage from old equipment. I have access to the university lab too. Lyra looked at her with those striking violet eyes. Why would you help me? You owe me nothing. Mia considered the question. For science, for knowledge, and because you need help. It's the right thing to do. The concept of helping without expectation of return seems common in humans, Lyra observed. Yet your species also displays great cruelty and selfishness. You are contradictory beings. We're complicated. Mia shrugged, but not all bad. I promise. The next few days established an unusual routine. Mia went to work at the university during the day, while Lyra remained in her apartment, studying Earth through internet access and Mia's books. In the evenings, Mia would bring back components they needed, working with Lyra to modify them for the alien technology. Lyra was a quick study, absorbing information about Earth culture and science at an astonishing rate. She was particularly interested in music, art, and human relationships, concepts that seemed less developed or different in her civilization. Your species forms pair bonds based on emotion, Lyra noted one evening as they worked together on a communication device. This seems inefficient, Mia laughed. We call it falling in love. And yes, it's messy and complicated, but also wonderful. What about your people? How do you choose partners? We have genetic compatibility assessments. Lyra explained, optimal pairing for reproduction and social harmony. That sounds very practical, Mia said. But don't you ever just feel drawn to someone? Lyra was quiet for a moment. There are rare cases of spontaneous bonding outside the established protocols. These are considered unusual but not forbidden, like soulmates, Mia suggested. Perhaps, though, your concept seems based in mysticism rather than biology, Lyra replied. But there are similarities. As they worked together, Mia found herself increasingly fascinated by Lyra. The alien was brilliant, composed, and yet there was something almost vulnerable about her situation. The stranger in a strange world. Mia caught herself watching Lyra when the alien wasn't looking, admiring the graceful way she moved, the thoughtful expression when she concentrated on a task. One night as they walked through the dark forest to check on the hidden ship, Lyra suddenly stopped, her head tilted as if listening. What is it? Mia whispered. Someone is near the ship. Lyra said, her voice low. We must be cautious. They crept forward until they could see the clearing. A man in a dark uniform was examining the area with a device in his hand. Government, Mia mouthed to Lyra. They watched as the man took readings, then spoke into a radio. I have unusual energy signatures but no visible source, requesting a full team for tomorrow night. When he finally left, Mia turned to Lyra with urgency. We need to speed up the repairs. They will find your ship tomorrow. Lyra nodded. We require only the final components. The communication array is nearly complete. We have less than 24 hours, Mia said, leading the way to the ship once they were sure the man was gone. The ship uncloaked as they approached, revealing its sleek design once more. They worked through the night, Mia following Lyra's instructions as they installed the modified Earth technology into the alien systems. The sky was beginning to lighten when they finished. It is done, Lyra said. The signal has been sent. My main vessel will create a distraction and retrieve me tonight. Mia felt a sudden sadness. So this is it? You leave tonight? Yes, Lyra confirmed. It is necessary. Mia nodded, understanding. but still feeling disappointed. They returned to her apartment as the sun rose both. "Tired from the night of work, I must rest before tonight." Lyra said, "We have done well." Mia Johnson something in the formal way. Lyra said her name made Mia reach out and take the alien's hand. Their fingers intertwined, human and alien so different, yet somehow fitting together perfectly. Lyra looked at their joined hands with surprise. "I feel a strange resonance." Mia smiled. "That might be what we call a connection." "I should not have formed attachments here," Lyra said softly. "Yet I find myself reluctant to leave this normal when you make friends." Mia assured her friends. Lyra tested the word. "Is that what we are?" Mia looked into those violet eyes and felt something more than friendship but didn't know how to express it. "Yes, friends. At least for now. Here's part 2. The day passed too quickly for Mia. She watched Lyra prepare for departure, the alien methodically checking calculations on her small holographic device. The government team would arrive at the forest clearing after nightfall, and Lyra needed to be gone before then. "Do you have to erase all evidence of your time here?" Mia asked as she helped Lyra gather the few alien items scattered around the apartment. "Yes," Lyra confirmed. "No trace can remain. My people are strict about contamination protocols." Mia felt her heart sink at the word contamination. "Is that what I am? A contamination?" Lyra looked up, her violet eyes softening. "No, you are an exception." "You are?" She paused, searching for the right word. "Unexpected." Their fingers brushed as Mia handed Lyra a small tool, and that now familiar tingle of connection passed between them. Lyra didn't pull away this time. Instead, she held Mia's gaze. "In my culture, we have a concept called soul resonance," Lyra said quietly. "It is rare even among our own kind. Natural compatibility that transcends normal parameters. Like soulmates," Mia suggested again. Remembering their earlier conversation, perhaps Lyra conceded. "Though the phenomenon has biological markers. Our scientists have studied it for generations. Those with resonance share a unique energy pattern, and you think that's what's happening between us." Lyra hesitated. "It should be impossible across species, yet I cannot deny the evidence. My readings show anomalies when we touch." Mia smiled. "So, your science is telling you there's something special happening." Lyra almost smiled back, an expression she'd been practicing. "It is telling me that you are special, Mia Johnson, in ways I cannot fully explain." The moment was interrupted by a beeping from Lyra's communicator. Her ship was signaling that the main vessel was moving into position. The time had come. "We must go now," Lyra said. "My ship detects vehicles approaching the forest area." They drove in silence to a spot near but not too close to the landing site, walking. The rest of the way, darkness had fallen completely, and Mia used her flashlight carefully, avoiding drawing attention. The ship's cloaking was still compromised, making speed essential. As they reached the edge of the clearing, Mia could see flashlight beams in the distance. The government team had arrived earlier than expected. They needed to hurry. Lyra activated her ship remotely, causing it to decloak and open for their arrival. But before they could move forward, a spotlight suddenly illuminated them from behind. "Freeze federal agents," a stern voice commanded. Mia turned slowly, raising her hands, heart pounding. 2 men in dark suits stood there, weapons drawn. Their faces showed shock as they registered Lyra's clearly non-human appearance. "My God," one of them whispered. "It's real." Lyra moved with incredible speed. She touched a device on her wrist, and a pulse of energy knocked both agents backward. They collapsed unconscious but breathing. "They will recover," Lyra assured Mia. "But we have minutes, at most." They ran to the ship, Lyra quickly entering and moving to the controls. Mia stood at the entrance, uncertain. Should she go with Lyra or stay behind? The decision seemed impossible in the moment. More flashlights were visible through the trees. The rest of the team was coming. Mia knew once they took Lyra, she would never see the alien again. She would be studied, dissected, her existence classified and hidden from the world. Lyra looked up from the controls. Sensing Mia's hesitation, "The ship is prepared for departure." "You must decide quickly, Mia. If you stay, they will question you. I know, Mia said. What happens if I go with you? It is unprecedented. Lyra admitted. A human aboard our vessel. But the resonance between us. It might convince my superiors to grant you protected status. Shouts could be heard now. They were running out of time. Mia took a deep breath and stepped fully into the ship. I choose to go with you. Lyra nodded, activating the ship systems. The door sealed behind Mia and the small craft hummed to life, rising smoothly from the ground. As they ascended, Mia could see the government agents bursting into the clearing below, staring up at the departing ship, their faces illuminated by the craft's glow. Then they were above, the clouds accelerating toward the stars. Mia felt a mixture of exhilaration and terror. What had she just done? Left her entire life behind on an impulse. She looked at Lyra, who was focused on piloting the ship, her slender lavender fingers moving across controls that responded to her touch. We will rendezvous with my research vessel in orbit, Lyra explained. My superior officer will determine our next course of action. I cannot guarantee how they will receive you. Maya nodded, understanding the risk she'd taken. I trust you. The words seemed to affect Lyra deeply. Trust is not common among my people in first encounters. She paused. We value evidence, data, certainty. Humans sometimes have to make decisions based on feelings. Mia explained. And right. Now mind tell me I'm where I need to be. The small ship broke free of Earth's atmosphere, and Mia gasped at the sight of her planet below the blue and green sphere, partly covered in swirling white clouds. It was breathtaking, beautiful in a way telescope images could never capture. There Lyra pointed to what appeared to be a star brighter than the others, but as they approached, Mia realized it was actually a massive vessel, probably the size of a small city. Sleek and silver it hung in space with, a quiet majesty that made Mia's heart race. That's your ship, Mia whispered. The research vessel. Stellar Horizon. Lyra confirmed, home to 500 scientists and researchers. We observed 17 developing worlds in this sector. Their small craft approached. A docking bay. A seam appearing in the larger ship's smooth hull. A tractor beam guided them inside, and Mia watched in wonder as they entered a vast hangar containing dozens of small craft similar to Lyra's when they landed, and the systems powered. Down. Lyra turned to Mia. Her expression was serious. Stay close to me. Let me speak first. My superior officer, Thala, is strict but reasonable. Mia nodded, suddenly nervous. The ship's door opened and they stepped out into the hangar. Several aliens similar to Lyra, but with subtle differences in height, coloring, and features approached. Some wore uniforms similar to Lyra's, while others were dressed in what appeared to be civilian clothing. All stopped to stare at Mia with unconcealed surprise. A tall, regal-looking female with deep blue skin and silver markings on her face stepped forward. Her expression was stern. Officer Lyra, you have violated numerous protocols. I accept responsibility, Commander Thala. Lyra said formally. But there are extenuating circumstances. The human Mia Johnson assisted in my rescue when my craft malfunctioned. Thala turned her piercing gaze to Mia, who fought the urge to step back. The commander's eyes were golden with vertical pupils, unlike Lyra's. You brought an undeveloped species representative aboard our vessel, without authorization. There is more, Lyra continued. We have confirmed soul resonance. A murmur went through the gathered crew. Thala looked genuinely shocked for a moment before composing herself. That is a significant claim. Require immediate verification. Two officers approached with handheld devices scanning both Mia and Lyra. The devices emitted soft chimes and displayed holographic readouts. The officers conferred, looking increasingly surprised. Confirmed. Commander One finally said, the patterns are synchronized, improbable, but the evidence is clear. Thala seemed to reassess Mia's soul resonance across species has never been documented. This changes protocols. Escort them both to medical for full evaluation. I will consult with the Science Council. As they were led through the ship, Mia tried to take in everything around her. The corridors were wide with softly glowing walls. The other aliens they passed stopped to stare at her, some with curiosity, others with what looked like concern. "What does this soul resonance mean for us exactly?" Mia whispered to Lyra. "It means you cannot be treated as a simple specimen." Lyra explained. "The resonance is considered sacred among my people. It supersedes many regulations. A bond pair cannot be separated by law." The medical bay was a large circular room with equipment Mia could not begin to understand. A team of what appeared to be doctors waited for them. Their examinations were gentle but thorough scanning rather than touching using technology that seemed centuries beyond anything on Earth. The head physician, a female with pale green skin, addressed Lyra. "The resonance is stronger than any recorded in our databases. The human physiology is responding in ways we did not believe possible. It appears the connection is altering both your cellular structures at a quantum level." "Is that dangerous?" Mia asked, concerned. "Not dangerous," the physician assured her. "Merely unprecedented evolution often finds unexpected paths. This connection serves some purpose we do not yet understand." Commander Thala entered the medical bay reading reports on a holographic display. She looked up at Mia and Lyra. "The Science Council has reached a decision. The human Mia Johnson will be granted provisional diplomatic status while we study this phenomenon. She will have restricted access to the vessel, but will not be confined." Lyra visibly relaxed. "Thank you, Commander." Thala fixed Lyra with a stern look. "You remain responsible for her officer Lyra. You will continue your research duties while also documenting this resonance phenomenon. I expect daily reports." "Yes, Commander," Lyra acknowledged. When Thala left, Mia let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. "So am not going to be dissected." "That's good," Lyra almost smiled. "I told you the resonance would provide protection. Now I will show you where you will stay." The quarters assigned to them were spacious with large windows showing the stars beyond Earth was visible. As a blue jewel against the blackness of space, Mia stood at the window overwhelmed by everything that had happened. "I just left my entire life behind," she whispered. "Everyone I know. Everything familiar." Lyra stood beside her. "I understand the sacrifice. This connection between us. It was not something either of us anticipated or chose. Yet here we are." Mia turned to look at the beautiful alien woman beside her. "No regrets," she said firmly. "Whatever happens next, I chose this. I chose you." Something shifted in Lyra's expression, a softening of vulnerability that is. "It means..." She seemed unable to find the words instead. She reached out tentatively and placed her hand against Mia's. The now familiar energy flowed between them but stronger. This time warm and comforting. Mia's fingers intertwined with Lyra's. "Slender ones, we will navigate this journey together," Lyra said, softly. "Whatever lies ahead. Here's part 3. The days aboard the stellar horizon passed in a blur for Mia. Each morning brought new wonders as Lyra introduced her to life on the alien research vessel. The crew had moved from open suspicion to cautious curiosity about the human in their midst. Some even seemed friendly, especially the younger researchers who bombarded Mia with questions about Earth culture, music, and art. Mia sat in the observation lounge, a vast room with transparent walls offering panoramic views of space. She was sketching the Earth as seen from orbit, something she did often to feel connected to home. Lyra had been called to a meeting with Commander Thala, leaving Mia to her own devices within her permitted areas of the ship. A young female researcher approached hesitantly. "May I join you?" Her skin was a pale pink with iridescent markings along her temples. Her name was Nira, one of the few crew members who had made efforts to speak with Mia regularly. Of course, Mia smiled, gesturing to the seat beside her. Nira sat looking at Mia's sketch with interest. "You miss your world?" Sometimes, Mia admitted. "But there's so much to learn here it's worth it." Nira seemed to hesitate before speaking. "The crew talks about you and Lyra. The soul resonance. It has never happened with a species outside our star systems before. Some believe it means something significant." "What do they think it means?" Mia asked, curious about how the aliens interpreted their connection. "Some say it suggests humans are more compatible with us than previously thought. that perhaps our evolutionary paths are somehow linked. Others believe it is merely a biological anomaly. And what do you think? Nira smiled. I believe the universe has patterns we do not yet understand. Your meeting with Lyra was perhaps not as random as it seemed. Before Mia could respond, Lyra appeared at the entrance to the lounge. Her expression was troubled. Officer Nira, I require privacy with Mia. Johnson. Nira nodded and left quickly. Lyra took her place beside Mia on the bench. What happened? Mia asked, sensing something was wrong. The Earth governments have noticed your disappearance, Lyra explained. They connected it to the unidentified craft. Their security agencies have classified you as either abducted or complicit in alien contact. They are searching for evidence. Mia felt a pang of guilt thinking about her colleagues' friends, even her parents who must be worried sick. Is there any way I could send a message, let them know? I'm okay. Lyra shook her head. Direct contact would violate our protocols and potentially expose our presence further. The Science Council is concerned. Your planet is under observation only. Your species is not yet ready for official first contact, but I left people behind who care about me. Mia protested. I understand. Lyra said softly, placing her hand over Mia's. Their connection hummed between them, comforting and strong. Commander Thala has authorized me to share something with you. Lyra led Mia through corridors to a section of the ship she had not visited before, the research labs. Here scientists studied data from various planets, including Earth. Lyra brought Mia to a private viewing room and activated a console. This is a secure feed from our observation satellites. Lyra explained, a view of your dwelling and workplace. The screen showed Mia's apartment building, then switched to the university. Where she worked, Mia could see police and what looked like federal agents interviewing her colleagues. Some of her belongings were being carried out in evidence boxes. They think I was taken against my will, Mia realized. Or that I'm some kind of traitor. Lyra nodded. The situation is complicated. Our presence has been detected, even if not confirmed. The Science Council is debating whether to accelerate the contact timeline. What does that mean? It means, Lyra explained, your species may receive official first contact sooner than planned. A controlled introduction rather than the current speculation and fear. The screen changed to show news reports. Unusual lights over Colorado. Astronomer missing government denies alien spacecraft rumors. Mia watched with growing concern as her face appeared on screen. Missing scientist connected to strange forest incident. I never meant to cause trouble. Mia said, you did not. Lyra assured her. My ship malfunction was the catalyst. These events were set in motion before our meeting. The Council has been monitoring your species' progress for decades. The question has always been when not. If contact would occur, Maya turned to face Lyra. And where do we fit into these plans? What happens to us? Lyra seemed uncertainty. Soul resonance complicates matters. You are the first human to experience this phenomenon. You have become important beyond our personal connection. The Council wishes to study us. Like lab specimens, Mia asked with concern. Lyra shook her head. No, with respect. The resonance is considered sacred even to the scientists they wish to understand, not exploit. We would be asked to undergo tests, but always with consent and dignity. Mia nodded, relieved, but still concerned about the bigger picture. The situation. On Earth, the search for her. The rumors spreading, the communication system chimed. Lyra activated it to reveal Commander Thalas' stern face. Officer Lyra, bring the human to the council chamber immediately. New developments require discussion. They made their way to a part of the ship Mia had never seen. The council chamber was a large circular room with tiered seating. 7 senior officials sat in a semicircle, their expressions serious. Mia felt small and very human as she stood before them with Lyra. Commander Thala addressed them. The Earth governments have launched a new satellite system capable of detecting our energy signatures. They are actively searching for evidence of extraterrestrial presence. Our stealth systems may be compromised. 1. Of the counselors, an elderly male with deep purple skin spoke. This acceleration of their technology was unexpected. Their response to the incident has pushed their military to deploy systems earlier than scheduled. Another counselor added, "The human, Mia Johnson, has been declared a person of interest in their investigation. Her knowledge of astronomy may have allowed her to assist an alien entity. This is their working theory." Mia felt all eyes turned to her. She stood straighter, trying to appear confident despite her racing heart. A female counselor with elegant silver markings spoke directly to Mia Human. "How would your people react to official contact in your assessment?" Mia considered carefully. Honestly, there would be fear, confusion, probably some panic, but also wonder and hope. Religious beliefs would be challenged, political structures would struggle to adapt. But humanity has imagined this moment for centuries through our fiction, our science, our dreams. I believe many would welcome you, even if our governments might be defensive. The council members exchanged glances. The one who appeared oldest spoke. "We have monitored your entertainment transmissions. Your species imagines first contact in many forms. Often violent, we imagine. Many things," Mia admitted. "But imagination is how we prepare for the unknown. It's how we process possibilities." Lyra stepped forward. "I believe Mia Johnson represents the best qualities of humanity. Her assistance was given freely without expectation of reward. Her scientific curiosity is tempered with empathy. The resonance between us suggests compatibility between our species." The council deliberated among themselves in their language, which Mia's translator implant could not fully process. Finally, Commander Thala turned to them. "The council has reached a decision. First contact protocols will be initiated. We will no longer hide our presence from Earth. A diplomatic team will be assembled. Lyra, as the first to establish peaceful contact with a human, you will join this team." And me, Mia asked. "What about me, you, Mia?" "Johnson will be our human ambassador if you accept," Commander Thala said. "You will help prepare your people for our arrival." Mia felt overwhelmed by the responsibility, but also thrilled at the historic role she was being offered. "I accept," she said without hesitation. The preparation began immediately. The diplomatic team worked with Mia to craft messages that would be sent to Earth governments. Carefully worded introductions, designed to minimize panic and establish peaceful intentions. Mia recorded video messages explaining her situation, assuring people she was safe, and acting as a willing intermediary. During a break in their preparations, Lyra found Mia in their quarters, staring at the Earth through the viewport. "Are you concerned about returning?" she asked, joining Mia by the window. Mia considered the question. "I don't know what awaits me there. Some will call me a traitor. Others might see me as a hero. Most will just be confused and scared and bringing news that changes everything humanity has ever believed about our place in the universe." Lyra placed her hand on Mia's shoulder. "It is a heavy responsibility. You can still choose another path." Mia shook her head. "No, this is bigger than me, than us. It's about two civilizations meeting for the first time. I want to help make that peaceful." Lyra smiled, a gesture she had become more comfortable with during their time together. "That is why the Resonance chose you. Your heart is both brave and kind. The Resonance chose us," Mia corrected, taking Lyra's hand. Their connection hummed between them stronger than ever. "Whatever happens next, we face it together." The day of return came quickly. The diplomatic vessel was prepared, a larger, more impressive craft than Lyra's small research ship. Mia stood in her new uniform designed to mark her official status as liaison between Earth and the Stellar Confederation. As she had learned, Lyra's people called themselves Commander Thala, addressed the diplomatic team. "This mission carries great importance. The future relationship between our civilizations begins today. Mia Johnson will make first contact with her governments, establishing her credentials and legitimacy. Our ships will remain in orbit, visible but non-threatening until invited to land." Mia felt the weight of history on her shoulders as she boarded the diplomatic vessel with Lyra and 4 other representatives. The journey back to Earth took only hours. the advanced propulsion making the trip that had seemed so momentous weeks ago now routine. As they entered Earth's atmosphere, Mia watched the blue planet growing larger in the viewport, her heart pounding with anticipation and anxiety. The diplomatic vessel had already transmitted their approach to major world governments. The response had been cautious but not hostile. A designated meeting point had been established at a neutral location, the United Nations headquarters in New York. An emergency session of world leaders had been convened upon landing. Mia would be the first to exit, establishing herself as the human ambassador. For the alien delegation, as they prepared for landing, Lyra approached Mia, adjusting her formal attire. "You represent both worlds now," she said softly. "A bridge between species." Mia took a deep breath. "I never imagined when I spotted your ship that night that it would lead to this. Perhaps the resonance did," Lyra suggested. "The connection between us serving a greater purpose." The ship touched down smoothly on the designated landing pad. Military personnel surrounded the area, maintaining a perimeter. News helicopters circled overhead, broadcasting the historic moment to the world air. "You ready?" Lyra asked as the ship's door prepared to open. Mia nodded, taking Lyra's hand one last time before they would step into the spotlight, as ready as anyone can be for changing history. The door opened, revealing the gathered dignitaries, the military presence, the press. Mia stepped forward into the sunlight of her home planet, ready to introduce humanity to the stars. Here's Part 4, HFY Sci-Fi Story Part 4. Type text markdown, title, Alien Love Story, Part 4. The cameras flashed, capturing the historic moment as Mia stepped onto Earth soil, a changed woman returning to a world about to change forever. She walked with newfound confidence toward the delegation of world leaders waiting at a safe distance. Behind her, Lyra and the other representatives of the Stellar Confederation followed their exotic appearance, causing audible gasps from the gathered crowd. Mia approached the United Nations Secretary General, a tall, dignified woman who had been chosen to receive the first official greeting. "I am Mia Johnson," she began, her voice steady, "astronomer, and appointed liaison between Earth and the Stellar Confederation. Returned to introduce those who have observed our world for generations and now wish to establish peaceful relations." The Secretary General maintained her composure despite the extraordinary circumstances. "Welcome back, Dr. Johnson. You have been declared missing for nearly 2 months. Your return under these circumstances is unprecedented." "I understand," Mia acknowledged. "My departure was unplanned, but necessary. I am here voluntarily and of my own free will to facilitate this historic meeting." She turned and gestured to Lyra, who stepped forward. "May I present Science Officer Lyra, Chief Diplomat of the Stellar Confederation delegation." Lyra bowed slightly, her silver hair catching the sunlight. "I bring greetings from the Stellar Confederation. We come in peace-seeking understanding and cooperation between our peoples." The formalities continued as the other alien representatives were introduced. The Earth delegation included leaders from major world powers, all struggling to maintain diplomatic composure in the face of confirmed extraterrestrial contact. Security was tight, military forces visible but non-threatening, media from around the world broadcast every moment. The initial meeting was brief, an exchange of greetings and basic information. Before the delegation moved inside the United Nations building for more substantive discussions, Mia found herself in the surreal position of translating not just language, the aliens' technology managed that perfectly, but cultural concepts and contexts in a private moment as the delegates prepared for formal negotiations. Mia stood near a window looking out at the New York skyline, a city she had visited before but now saw through new eyes. The Secretary General approached her. "Dr. Johnson," she said quietly, "you understand the questions your return raises. The security concerns." "I do." Mia nodded. "I disappeared without explanation and returned with representatives of an advanced civilization. I know how it looks." The older woman studied her carefully. "You were always known as a serious scientist dedicated to your work, not someone prone to fantasy or delusion. That is the only reason you stand here now rather than in a secure facility being debriefed. What convinced you to trust them, Mia? Considered her answer carefully, weighing personal truth against diplomatic necessity. I learned they have been studying us for centuries without interference. Their technology could have conquered us at any time, if that were their intention. Instead, they waited, observed, respected our development. The Stellar Confederation has a principle of non-interference with developing worlds. They broke that principle to save me when I helped Lyra. And now they believe the time has come for official contact. Their observations suggest Earth is approaching a technological threshold. Besides, my disappearance accelerated the timeline. Our worlds were destined to meet eventually. The Secretary General nodded thoughtfully. History will remember you, Dr. Johnson. For better or worse, you have changed humanity's path forever. The formal negotiations began in the General Assembly Hall. Representatives from every nation attended while billions watched via broadcast. The Stellar Confederation delegates presented their history, their principles, their reasons for contact. Now Mia stood beside Lyra, translating context, providing Earth perspective, clarifying misunderstandings. During a recess, Mia found a quiet corner, needing a moment alone. The magnitude of events was overwhelming her. She had barely had time to contact her parents, a brief emotional video call that left them stunned, but relieved to see her alive. Her colleagues from the university had sent messages ranging from scientific questions to accusations of betrayal. The world was in upheaval, and she stood at the center of the storm. Lyra found her there. "Are you well?" she asked, her voice gentle. "The term the media has begun using, Ambassador Johnson, seems to cause you distress." Mia smiled, weakly. 2 months ago, I was just an astronomer looking at stars through a telescope. Now I'm helping negotiate humanity's first interstellar diplomatic agreement. It's a lot to process. Lyra placed a hand on her shoulder. "You are performing admirably. The Council is impressed with your ability to represent both perspectives." Mia looked into those violet eyes that had become so dear to her. "What happens after these negotiations? When agreements are signed and protocols established? What happens?" To sit was the question they had both avoided. During the preparations for return, during the journey to Earth, during the initial diplomatic exchanges, their personal connection had been set aside for the greater mission. But Mia could not ignore it any longer. Lyra hesitated. "I have been appointed permanent diplomatic liaison to Earth. I will remain here establishing the first embassy." And the resonance, Mia asked. Their special connection had been studied, but never fully explained by the Confederation. "Scientists, it remains," Lyra said softly. "Unchanging. Perhaps even stronger on your homeworld. The Council believes it may serve a purpose in our ongoing relations. A living bridge between our peoples." Before Mia could respond, they were called back to the negotiations. The days stretched into weeks as details were hammered out. Trade agreements, scientific exchanges, cultural missions, security protocols. The world governments insisted on careful, controlled introduction of alien technology, while the Confederation sought assurances their representatives would be safe on Earth. Throughout it all, Mia and Lyra worked side by side, their unique bond giving them insight into both perspectives. They became the public face of the new relationship, between worlds, appearing at press conferences, answering questions, assuaging fears. Their personal connection, though never explicitly discussed in public, became the subject of intense speculation. One evening, after a particularly grueling negotiation session, they walked together in the garden of the diplomatic residence that had been established for the Confederation representatives. The night was warm, stars visible above, though fewer than could be seen from the stellar horizon. "The world is changing so quickly," Mia observed. "Scientists are already collaborating on new technologies. Religions are debating the implications of your existence. Artists are creating works inspired by your people. It is the same among my kind." Lyra said. "Earth culture is being studied with new intensity. Music, art, literature, philosophy. They fascinate us. Your species creates with such passion, such variety." They sat on a bench looking up at the stars that now held new meaning for humanity. "Is it strange," Mia asked, "to see it from the other side?" Now you're the visitor on a foreign world, Lyra considered. The gravity feels lighter. The air has different scents. Your sun is brighter than I'm accustomed to. But she turned to look at Mia, her expression softening. Some things feel like home regardless of the planet. The implication hung between them. Their connection transcending worlds. Mia reached for Lyra's hand, the familiar energy flowing between them. Comforting and exciting all at once. I never asked you, Mia said quietly. Among your people, what happens with those who share resonance? They typically form a lifelong bond. Lyra explained. It is considered one of our most sacred relationships. Not arranged, not strategic, but recognized as a natural harmony between souls and across species, Mia pressed. Is it even possible? Lyra moved closer. There is no precedent, but the Council has acknowledged our resonance. As genuine, no law forbids it. Some traditions would need adaptation, but she didn't finish the thought. Instead, she leaned forward hesitantly. This gesture, your people call a kiss. I have studied its significance. Mia smiled. You did research on kissing it? Seemed important to understand, Lyra admitted, her serious expression making Mia laugh softly. Then let me show you, Mia whispered, leaning in to press her lips gently against Lyra's. The contact sent a wave of the resonance energy flowing through them, both stronger than any previous touch. Lyra's skin glowed faintly in response, her eyes widening. Oh, Lyra breathed when they parted. Your research materials did not adequately describe the experience. Mia laughed. Some things can't be learned from study. Their moment was interrupted by Mia's communication device. The Secretary General requested their presence. An agreement had been reached. A historic treaty would be signed the following day, establishing official relations between Earth and the Stellar Confederation. The signing ceremony was conducted with all the pomp and circumstance befitting such a momentous occasion. Leaders from every major nation gathered to witness. Representatives from the Confederation in their formal attire stood proudly. As equals, Mia and Lyra were given the honor of witnessing each signature, a recognition of their unique role in bringing the worlds together. As celebrations began afterward, Mia found herself momentarily alone, watching the diverse gathering of humans and aliens cautiously beginning to mingle. The Secretary General joined her, Ambassador Johnson. The older woman said, "You have performed a remarkable service for humanity." "I just happened to be in the right place at the right time." Mia demurred. The Secretary General smiled. "I think it was more than chance. The way you and the alien diplomat Lyra work together. It's as though you understand each other on a level the rest of us can't access." Mia considered how much to reveal. The Confederation has a concept called soul resonance, a natural compatibility between individuals. It's rare even among their kind, and you share this with Lyra. The Secretary General concluded. It explains much. Is it that obvious? Mia asked, only to those watching closely. The woman assured her. Your personal connection has humanized them, made this transition easier for many to accept. You have become symbols of what might be possible. Cooperation, understanding, perhaps even friendship between our worlds. Across the room, Lyra was speaking with several scientists, her elegant gestures and focused attention capturing their imagination. As though sensing Mia's gaze, she looked up, their eyes meeting across the crowded space. The connection between them pulsed strong and true, the future stretched before them filled with possibilities. Neither could have imagined that night in the Colorado forest. Mia would continue as Earth's ambassador to the Confederation, helping humanity navigate its new place in the cosmic community. Lyra would establish the first alien embassy on Earth, bringing knowledge and technology to share with her new allies. But beyond their official duties, beyond the historic significance of their roles, they had found something neither had been seeking, a connection that defied explanation, transcended species, bridged worlds. What had begun as an accidental encounter had become the foundation for a new era of cooperation and understanding. That evening, after the ceremonies were complete, Mia took Lyra to her favorite spot in the diplomatic compound garden, a small bench beneath a blooming cherry tree. I have something to ask you, Mia said, taking Lyra's hands in hers. On your world, how do those with resonance formalize their bond? There is a ceremony. Lyra explained, a joining of paths. The council has never performed one between different species. Would they consider it? Mia asked, her heart racing. Would you want that? Lyra's luminous eyes held Mia's gaze. I have already requested permission. It has been granted. Mia felt tears of joy forming. I never imagined when I looked up at the stars that I'd find you. Perhaps the stars knew. Lyra suggested, pulling Mia close. The universe has patterns. We are only beginning to understand. Together, Mia agreed as they sealed their promise with a kiss. The resonance between them glowing visibly, now a bridge between worlds, a new beginning for both their peoples and for themselves. Finally, here's part 5. 1 year had passed since first contact. The world had changed in ways both dramatic and subtle. The initial shock and fear had given way to cautious curiosity, then growing cooperation. Stellar Confederation embassies now existed in 12 major Earth cities, while human diplomatic missions had been established on 3 Confederation worlds. Mia stood on the balcony of the primary embassy in Washington, D.C., watching the sunset paint the sky in brilliant colors. Lyra joined her, slipping an elegant hand into Mia's. Their resonance hummed between them, familiar and comforting now. Hard to believe it's been a year, Mia said, leaning against her partner. Lyra nodded. The Council is pleased with the progress. Your species has adapted remarkably well to our presence. Most humans, Mia corrected. There were still protests, still fearmongers claiming the aliens had sinister intentions, still religious groups declaring the Confederation representatives were everything from angels to demons. But they were the minority. The majority had embraced the new relationship, fascinated by the possibilities it presented. The medical advances alone had won over many skeptics. Confederation healing technology had already begun addressing some of Earth's most devastating diseases. Their environmental expertise was helping reverse climate damage, and the scientific cooperation had accelerated. Human technology, decades ahead of its expected development today, is significant, Lyra observed. You received the notification this morning. Mia smiled. The Council has approved our request. I'm officially granted dual citizenship. The first human recognized. As both a citizen of Earth and the Stellar Confederation, it is unprecedented, Lyra agreed. But appropriate given your role and our bond. Their formal joining ceremony was scheduled for the following week, a unique blend of Earth and Confederation traditions. Acknowledging the historic nature of their union, representatives from both worlds would attend. Politicians, scientists, religious leaders, celebrities, all eager to witness the first officially recognized human-alien union. The resonance between them had become a symbol of the potential for harmony between their peoples. Scientists from both worlds continued to study the phenomenon, discovering that while extremely rare, it was theoretically possible between any Confederation species and humans. The biological markers were present in approximately 1 in 10 million individuals. Do you ever regret it? Mia asked softly. The night you crashed, your ship malfunctioning, all the protocols broken. Lyra considered the question with her characteristic thoughtfulness. I regret the fear it caused, the disruption to planned contact procedures. She turned to face Mia, her violet eyes soft with emotion. I will never regret finding you. The resonance between us may have been unexpected, but it has proven valuable beyond measure. Both personally and diplomatically, Maya smiled, remembering how formal Lyra had been when they first met, how she had gradually adapted to human expressions of emotion while maintaining her logical Confederation perspective. Their differences had become strengths, each helping the other see the universe through new eyes. They were interrupted by a communication alert, Commander Thala requesting their presence. The stern officer now served as head of Confederation diplomatic relations with Earth. She had softened somewhat toward Mia over the past year, recognizing the humans' value in bridging cultural gaps. They found Thala in the embassy's conference room reviewing holographic displays of recent scientific collaborations. The elder diplomat nodded as they entered. Ambassador Johnson, science officer Lyra, the Council, has reached a decision regarding the expansion proposal. She began without preamble. Maya and Lyra exchanged glances. They had jointly proposed a new initiative, an exchange program allowing selected humans to visit Confederation worlds, while Confederation representatives would live among humans, learning directly about each other's cultures. The proposal is approved. Thala announced. Initial exchanges will begin next month. Selection protocols will follow the guidelines you recommended, Ambassador Johnson. Your expertise regarding human reactions has proven invaluable. Thank you, Commander Mia said, feeling a surge of pride. This program will build deeper understanding between our peoples. Thala nodded. The Council believes it may also identify other potential resonance pairs. While your connection remains unique, we have detected subtle markers in certain human Confederation interactions. More bridges between worlds. Lyra observed. Precisely. Thala agreed. Then her expression softened slightly. I have also been authorized to inform you that the Council has approved your request for a shared assignment following your joining ceremony. You will both serve as cultural liaisons traveling between Earth and Confederation worlds. It was what they had hoped for. The ability to share both worlds rather than being restricted to one or the other. Mia felt a wave of gratitude. Their unique status had given them unprecedented freedom to define their own roles as they left the meeting. Lyra suggested a walk through the embassy gardens, now a popular attraction for visitors, featuring plants from both Earth and Confederation worlds growing side by side. They walked in comfortable silence, for a while enjoying the blend of familiar and alien flora. A small group of school children on a field trip noticed them pointing and whispering excitedly. Mia and Lyra had become celebrities of sorts, their story romanticized in media, their appearances, together drawing crowds. The children waved shyly and Mia waved back. They see hope in us, Mia observed as they continued their walk. The idea that beings from different worlds can find common ground. The universe has patterns, Lyra said, repeating a phrase she had used since their first days together, a Confederation philosophy that had become something of a personal motto for them both. Perhaps our meeting was not as random as it appeared. That evening they hosted a small gathering in their embassy quarters. A year ago such a scene would have been unimaginable. Human and Confederation scientists discussing research, a human artist showing her paintings inspired by alien landscapes, a Confederation musician demonstrating an instrument that responded to thought patterns while a human composer suggested modifications. Mia watched it all with a sense of wonder, remembering the night she had spotted a strange light falling through Earth's atmosphere. How one decision to investigate had changed not just her life but the course of human history. Later, as their guests departed, Lyra found Mia in their bedroom, packing items for their upcoming trip to the Confederation homeworld. For the second half of their joining ceremony, you are contemplative tonight, Lyra observed, sitting beside Mia on the edge of the bed. Just thinking about everything that led us here. Mia explained. All the coincidences. My telescope pointed at that exact part of the sky. Your ship malfunctioning over Colorado of all places, me deciding to investigate alone. Lyra took her hand, the resonance flowing between them warm and familiar. Do you remember what the Council scientists discovered about our resonance, that it existed before we met? Mia nodded. The energy patterns were always compatible. We just needed to find each other. Lyra smiled, a gesture she had perfected over their time together. Perhaps the universe arranged our meeting. The patterns aligning to bring compatible souls together, across the stars. It's a romantic thought, Mia said, leaning against Lyra's shoulder. The Confederation scientist in me would call it an improbable statistical anomaly, Lyra admitted. But my time among humans has taught me that some mysteries are better appreciated than explained. Their joining ceremony on Earth took place at sunset in the embassy's central garden. Guests from both worlds watched as Mia, in a gown of flowing white, and Lyra in the traditional silver attire of her people, stood beneath an arch, entwined with flowers from both planets. The human officiant and the Confederation elder took turns speaking of unity, cooperation, and hope. The symbolic significance of their union was not lost on anyone present, but for Mia and Lyra, the moment transcended politics and diplomacy. This was about their connection, the impossible bond that had formed between them. When it came time for their vows, Mia spoke first. My life changed. The night I saw your ship falling from the stars, I followed a light in the darkness and found you. Now we walk between worlds together. Our differences make us stronger. Our bond makes us whole. I promise to stand beside you as we build bridges between our peoples and a life between ourselves. Lyra responded, her voice clear and strong. In my culture, we believe the universe has patterns, connections that exist before we recognize them. The resonance between us defied explanation but not understanding. I promise to honor our bond, to learn from our differences and to face whatever challenges arise with you at my side. Two worlds, one path forward, as they sealed their vows with a kiss. The resonance between them glowed visibly, surrounding them in a soft light that left the guests murmuring in awe, a physical manifestation of their connection visible to all. The celebration continued long into the night. Human music played alongside Confederation harmonies. Food from both worlds was shared. Stories were exchanged, bridges built, conversation by conversation. In a quiet moment, Mia and Lyra slipped away from the festivities, finding a secluded spot in the garden under the stars. So, what happens now? Mia asked, looking up at the night sky that once seemed so distant and was now a road she had traveled. Now, Lyra said, following her gaze, we continue our journey together as representatives of both worlds. We have been given a unique opportunity and responsibility. Mia nodded. But beyond the diplomatic missions, beyond the cultural exchanges, what's next for us? As Lyra considered. Our joining grants us certain privileges. The Council has approved our request for a dwelling on the stellar horizon. We will have a home among the stars as well as here on Earth. Home, Mia repeated the word, feeling its significance. Where you are, that's home to me now. Whether on Earth or traveling between stars, they would depart the next day for the Confederation homeworld for the second part of their joining ceremony. A new chapter in their unexpected journey together. They would face challenges, misunderstandings, cultural differences. The path would not always be smooth, but the resonance between them would guide them. 1 year ago, an astronomer had looked to the stars and found more than she ever imagined. An alien, ship, a new civilization. A connection that defied explanation. Now she stood with one foot in each world, a bridge between species, a symbol of what was possible when differences were embraced rather than feared. The stars above seemed to shimmer brighter than before, Mia thought. Or perhaps she simply saw them differently now, knowing what wonders they held. Are you ready for tomorrow? Lyra asked. Taking you to my homeworld. Mia smiled and took her partner's hand, feeling the familiar energy flow between them, ready for whatever comes next as long as we're together.